What's cracking? What's rolling, YouTube? It's your Loke Phantom Loke, aka Silk the Lokester, and this is keeping it 3100.
I see you folks clicking up, looking like you tough, acting like you banging now, nigga. Walk around with that flag out your pocket until the real come and ask what you claiming now, nigga. 1, 2, 3, oh shots from a loose cannon and it's blazing through your torso, nigga. 1, 2, 3, oh shots from a loose cannon and it's blazing through your doors now, nigga.
Yeah, nigga, that Loke is back. Come to your section, them shells rat-a-tat-tat. Cause what you banging, what you claim, you know what's up. If a person know, got that dagger exposing your fucking guts. Yeah, that blue been in me. Free my big cousin, cuz like me. Our gang's different, but we both bleed blue. Heart pump no Kool-Aid, them shots come through. I stay true blue, been true to that blue. Been true to the cause, so what about you?
For all those new to the channel, please like, comment, subscribe. For everybody else, let's jump right into it. Today's topic, somewhat of an interesting topic. Thought about this since Thursday. It's country life. What's it like in a small town, banging in a small town?
It's just as hard up here as it is anywhere.
All right. I thought he finished. I was fixing to say, man, that dude Steve, he finna get his car shot up. I'm glad it ain't mine.
The women are just as well, ready to fight and die as guys are. You know, I mean, just because they guys don't mean they're hard, and don't mean they. Just because you're a girl don't mean you shouldn't die for your nation. They're hard.
First of all, I don't see color, and that's all I just got. I just don't see color, and it don't bother me none.
Man, we all the same people, man.
Fuck yeah, man, ain't nothing but a skin color, dude. Shit. Ain't like a white boy can't be hard. A black dude can be soft, shit.
But man, 50% of my G's is black, dude. They don't look at me as a white boy. Shit, they look at me as trees.
Like if Clint Eastwood would have came out here, they would just want to be like Dirty Harry. You know, so I was just something new to him, and they gave me that much more respect. They wanted to be like me. It's a little LA out here now. When I first got out here, it was real country.
I need my money every day as my main source. I put my bitches down at 8:45.
The game to me is, you know, is a group of fellas that's gonna stay together, look out for each other and all that. You know, in case another thing come, we know how to deal with it. You know, because it's the people you looking out for.
Now, those were just some clips from this classic documentary, Bangin' Lil Rock, which I recommend you guys watch. I watched that first time, I think I was like 12, 13 or something like that. But anyway, and I believe every single small town, country or not, and every single suburb and every rural area has went through these transformations or changes, however you guys want to put it. But anyway, let's get right into it. Why did I choose clips from Bangin' Lil Rock? Well, I'll put it to you like this. Every small town, every small country town is different. Maybe it's the same, but I'm just going to speak on the one that I live in now. This documentary reminds me so much of where I live now. I ain't going to say which town, but just know it's in Virginia. But these dudes out here remind me of these dudes in this documentary. I'm talking about like the Hoover folk niggas, right? So now the thing is, out here, you have these dudes. Well, actually, let me start from the beginning. People out here really think Crip and Blood is just blue and red. They don't know really, well, I should say majority of them don't know the politics. They don't know that the second color scheme and all that shit. They don't know that Crip and Blood is actually, you know what I'm saying, people identify with these things. They're umbrellas. They are movements and all that. You know what I'm saying? The only thing people really know out here really is the Confederacy, which is the biggest, you know, out here. And people are going to be like, well, the Confederacy is not a gang. They're not. They're a movement. But what do you think Crip is? What do you think Blood is? What do you think Folk Nation is? Movements. Same thing. Just, different perspective and all that. But anyway, that's why you have people say Crip gangs, Blood gangs, when they refer to different sets, like the Harlems, the Hoovers, the East Coast, Crip gangs, G Shine, Sex Money Murder, Rolling 20s, etc., Blood gangs, and then whatever, they refer to as folk, GD folk gangs and all that, So now here's the issue. You come across these guys, these cats that say that they Crips, they Bloods and all that, and they'll tell you the set that they say they're in, and then you ask them certain questions and all that shit, and that shit doesn't even add up. And sometimes you ask them, where's this set, this, that, and third, and they choose to. It's like, I'll give you an example. If you come across a Blood and you say he's with the Rolling 20 Neighborhood Bloods and all that, and then you ask, okay, what city did it start in, or where is it located in LA? And they tell you a whole different, besides where it's stationed at. Yeah, you run across these type of guys. I came across someone that said he's a Paru, and he said, I said, what's that? Rolling 20 Outlaw. In Compton. First of all, Rolling 20 Outlaws are not Parus. They are Damus. They are Bloods. Straight up Bloods. That's number one. Number two, they are not in Compton. They're on the east side. Rolling 20 Outlaw Bloods is on the east side. Rolling 20 Neighborhood Bloods is on the west side. Okay? Dude, yeah. Fake blood. So, And then, crazy thing is, it was a rumor going on. It was a rumor going around saying that I put him on to the 30s. I made him go from Blood to Crip. First of all, I don't believe in transformation. You know what I'm saying? Whatever side you choose, you stay on that side. That's number one. Number two, I ain't doing shit in this small town, in this small country town, okay? All I do is I just mind my business, I keep it rolling, and I just stack it up. That's all I do. You know what I'm saying? The law down here already, they got me and all that shit. Like, they already got me on file and all that. They already got me on gang files and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's, Maryland, Virginia, but they definitely tagged me down here and all that shit. I was driving one day and all that, and they pulled me over because I didn't have an inspection sticker on my car and all that, and I was planning on getting it, but then the officer was being nosy, looking in the back seat of my car, seeing all my blue clothing in case I spilled something on, like, say, this t-shirt right here, whatever, and saw my flags and all that shit, saw my license plate and all that, and, it is what it is and all that shit. And then he wanted to conduct a search and all that, but I told him without consent and all that. I mean, without a probable cause and a warrant, then I don't want him to search my shit. And he was like, well, we're not trying to profile you or anything like that. Yeah, you just told yourself you're trying to profile and all that shit. But I don't see you guys have that same energy to the Confederacy and all that shit, especially those that's, that's low-key with the Klan and all that. I don't see y'all have that same energy with them motherfuckers. But now, banging in a small town or a country small town, it's definitely different from the city. And to be honest with you, if I had to choose between one or the other, I choose small town. Not just banging-wise, but, just life. I was never really into the city life and all this shit. Even though I'm from the metropolitan area of the DMV, which is basically suburban / city and all that shit. You know, that's just never was my thing. I could never really catch up to the pace and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? I could never really, you know, it just was never for me. That's one of the reasons why I moved. Just the scenery, the way of life, and the people, very different. It's very different. I prefer people in a small town than people back up there or any city and all that shit because, especially in the DMV, because, like, it's like in the DMV, it's like they don't really take anything seriously, for real. And they're like, majority of them is just too complicated and all that, you know what I'm saying? And it's like wishy-washy and like you really gotta watch out for them and all that, for real. So, I mean, I ain't got time for that shit. So, I moved to a small town and all that for a lot of reasons. That's a couple of the reasons. Also, the timing that I did move, it was perfect timing. You know, when how they say, what's for you, God will give it to you, or, you know, it's God's timing and all that. It was definitely God's timing because it was rumors going around, but sure enough, those rumors were actually true. No sooner as I moved and all that, the police around the metro area was doing gang sweeps and well-known gang areas and all that because of that incident that happened with that. I forgot if he was 12, 13, or 14-year-old, but it was some young nigga from Southeast DC, I think, or PG, I forgot. But he basically got on the school bus and all that and was trying to kill this one kid or whatever, but the gun jammed, so he just started pistol whipping him and all that. And ever since then, they've been on the gangs and all that shit. It didn't matter whether it was like a local gang or it was like, you know what I'm saying, Crip Blood, you know what I'm saying, et cetera, and all that shit. If you was a gang member and all that shit, they was on you and all that. And it was just like a sweep that was going on and all that shit and indictments and all that. You know, it didn't matter. Like, that's what was going on. And so it was perfect timing that I moved. So, because as soon as that happened, you know what I'm saying, like, even though, you know, circumstances and all that shit, but that was just God's way of saying it's time for me to leave DMV, and I did. I've been wanting to leave before that. It was just cringed in my chest, like it was suffocating me, like I just wanted to go, and I finally left. You know, so I started a new life out here and all that, and slowly but surely, I got accustomed to it, and not only I loved it before when I was just visiting down here, but I love it even more that I live down here. I made my own life out here and all that. So ever since then, you know, I just made this my home, and yeah. Plus, in the DMV, you're really not going to be able to grow as a person unless you have family out there or your roots are out there. Like I said, like, you're really irrelevant if you're not from there and your family's not from there and all that other stuff. Like I said, I'm an off-brand, you know. I'm the only one that's from there. My mom and pops is not from the DMV area and all that shit, and I didn't have no family roots. So, you know, just wasn't for me. It's like I was born in a place, just a random-ass place, and it's like you spin the wheel at a casino and all that and landed on something in a place where that's not what you want, and that didn't fit you. So, I mean, that's how it happened. But anyway, living out here really helped me grow as a man and all that. You know, the man that I've been supposed to have been, you know, and I'm grateful for that. And to be honest with you, living out here, I finally got a chance to understand my pops even more. But anyway, but don't sleep on a small town. I made that mistake. One day getting off work and all this, you know what I'm saying, this young boy, this rebel, this young Confederate, this little Confederate, right? he was talking all this shit at work and all that, this, that, and third. So I was like, okay, well, we going to see this, that, and third. So funny thing is, I caught him at the Circle K gas station and all that, you know what I'm saying? So I confronted him and all that, right? Now, I wasn't, you know what I'm saying, I wasn't hostile or anything like that, but crazy thing is, he pulled that thing out on me, you know what I'm saying? He pulled it out. And at the time, I didn't even have my shit on me. I was caught slipping. But I was like, oh, so that's how it is and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? So I was heated that day, especially because I didn't have my shit and I was caught slipping. And then he was trying to tell me the next day he just wanted to show me and all that. But I told him, you listen here. You don't ever pull your shit out or even flash your shit at me, especially like that, ever. Because where I'm from, you do that shit, your ass would have been lit up already. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm from a whole different environment. And my homies had to tell some of these cats out here, I'm not from here. I take shit very different, which I do. Some shit they do down here, which, you know what I'm saying, they're so used to and they joke around about this shit. I don't take that shit like that, you know what I'm saying? I'm from a place where jonin, which basically means jokingly overdoing it. Some might be hurtful and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm from the land where, you know what I'm saying, that's normal and all that. Am I used to it? To this day, no. No, like I said, I'm not a DMV native. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in Jonah. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like certain shit you just don't joke about and shit like that. And the problem is, motherfuckers up there take everything as a joke and all that shit. And even like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah. But anyway, certain shit like flashing your, you know what I'm saying, your piece and all that shit, your strap and all that at me and all, like, that's a challenge. That's a call to, okay, one of us is going to, you know what I'm saying, basically a draw. Like, you know how they used to do back in the cowboy days? That's basically what that is to me, you know? You don't flash your shit at me. I don't care what kind of strap you have. You don't pull that shit out on me. You know what I'm saying? Because, one, you don't even know if I have my own thing and all that shit, but that day I didn't. And I was caught slipping. I got too comfortable in this small town and all that. I got comfortable. I got too comfortable. I got caught slipping. That was on me. So ever since then, I've been on more of an on alert and all that. Now, and the crazy thing is, when that happened, I was just beginning to calm down from having this big ass ego attitude that I got from the DMV. You know, I started becoming more humble around that time, but then that shit happened and all that. Did that mean I went back to that way? No, but I just stayed more alert and, you know what I'm saying, vigilant to a certain extent and all that, because, you know, see, I thought, from what I was told, I had to worry about knives and all that. And, you know, a nigga, you know, however they want to take it, I have no problem taking it to that level too and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? But my first line of defense and all that, well, I'm not even going to say where it is, because you don't ever want to tell your opponent and your enemy what your first move, second move, third move, whatever move, you know what I'm saying? You don't ever want to reveal that shit. So, but anyway, it was just a lesson learned and all that, thank God, you know what I'm saying? I was able to learn that lesson, and I'm still humble and all that, but at the same time, though, now I know what it is. And this happened 2 years ago. But yeah, gang banging in a small town is very different from the city and all that shit, especially because in the city you have these subways and you have these, you know what I'm saying, areas where you can hide and all that, you know what I'm saying? In a small town, especially like a small town where I live in, is like you can't really hide anywhere. You're gonna have to face your shit. You could be running and all that, but it's nowhere for you to really hide. You're gonna have to face motherfuckers and shit like that. And good thing it's not really a rural town and all that, because if it was rural, oh, talk about you have nowhere to run and all that. You know what I'm saying? So basically out here, you know what I'm saying, you got to face your shit. You got to face your shit like a man. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Why the fuck you hide it? Why are you starting shit and then you hide it? And you get behind the, you know what I'm saying, Instagram, Facebook, all this other shit, talking all this shit, you know what I'm saying, behind the camera and all that, but yet you fucking hiding and all that. Face your shit. Handle your wax. Spade is spade. But now don't think just because, you know what I'm saying, small town means you get away with more shit like you couldn't in the city and all that, because see, in certain small towns and all that shit, they get in contact with police in major cities. So say, like, for instance, Roanoke, Richmond, etc., etc. If they need more intel on specific tattoos or symbols and this, that, and third, so that way they know exactly what they're dealing with and all that. And if they don't know, then they'll contact, you know, say LA, Chicago, the origins of where, you know what I'm saying, certain organizations came from, certain movements came from and all that, you know, and then they'll be able to tell what they're dealing with. They'll tell them what they're known for. They'll tell them what their specialty is, symbols, signs, etc., and all that. And then the small town police will have that intel and they'll know how to go about the shit. And if they need more extra manpower and all that, they will do that. Especially like small towns like where I live and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? The people out here, they are, I'd say half or at least 75% are fucking police friendly. So it's like they really love their police department. So it's like, okay. Which is funny because most of these dudes out here, they walk around and act like they so big and bad and all that, hard and all. But then when a real one, or should I say a true one, comes back with the same energy or more, they already on the phone calling 911. That's the funny thing. The other funny thing is, you call them out for a fight, or a fade, however you want to put it. Either they don't show up, or they'll show up with the police. So I don't see why they're walking around like they that and they know they're not even built like that. That's funny to me. We don't do that shit. We don't call no police on the fade. You know what I'm saying? It's between you and that man. Get it over with. Don't be calling no fucking police. But yeah, when it comes to the Crip and Blood and, you know what I'm saying, folking, they really don't understand the politics. They don't understand the depth of this shit. They don't, you know what I'm saying, all they know is what they know, which is farming and, you know, their flag and basically their lifestyle and all that shit. We have ours, Bloods have theirs, folks have theirs, Confederacy have theirs. Best way to put it. You know what I'm saying? Now, recent events last month around Kingsport. A GD folk was on the run, led police to a high-speed chase. He got booked. He was a leader in Knoxville. And then a couple days ago, in my town, you know, a Blood just got booked on some drugs and all that, you know, that he apparently was getting from South Carolina and shit like that, you know. So, and this all happened within a month radius on the 9th and shit. So it was a folk, and then after that was a Blood. So they watching. They definitely watching. The best thing to do in a small town, when you live in a small town, is just mind your business like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Make your money and all that. And yeah, just stay out the way and shit. Don't act on shit unless it's brought to you. Because in the city and all that shit, motherfuckers always gonna find some reason to fuck with you. Or to start some shit. But in a small town, most people are minding their business unless they fucking racist. And you could tell the ones that are racist from the ones that are not racist. Especially those under that Confederate flag, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they look at you, they give you that look, like they're disgusted of you, and it's just me mugging you and all that, yeah, you know those are those ones. But if, you know what I'm saying, they open to you and they, you know what I'm saying, they're friendly, now, yeah, don't let your guard down and all that. But if they haven't really snaked you out or, you know what I'm saying, this, that, and third and all that stuff, then, you know what I'm saying, it's just like us. You know, you have the good and then you have the bad. You know, that's under every flag, that's under every movement, that's under every, you know what I'm saying, identity and all that shit. You have your good ones and then you have your rotten ones, you know what I'm saying? But always remember, one bad apple spoils the whole bunch. So you gotta eliminate those rotten ones or cut yourself away from them rotten ones, you know. But yeah, when it comes to the banging shit, I don't know if you guys heard of this set called the Marathon Gas Station Crips or the KFC Crips or the something Bloods or whatever, some shit like that. But I heard that shit and I was laughing my motherfucking ass off at shit. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I could tell you this story, but I'd rather let the homie tell, you know what I'm saying, tell the story and all that shit because it was brought to his attention and all that shit first before it reached to me and all that. But just know, these niggas say they this, that, and third and all that until they come across some actual ones, official ones at that, that is tied to the land and all that, that's connected to the land and know their history and know what they're saying. And then when they approach these so-called wannabes and all that shit, you know what I'm saying, they shake up like a stripper and fold and all that. That's why, you know what I'm saying, you might as well just be an independent crip instead of a fucking, you know what I'm saying, Marathon Gas Station and all that shit. If you're going to get with a set and all that, make sure that shit is legit and not some made up shit, and make sure it traces back, because that's one thing about us Crips, we want to make sure that shit traces back to where it all started, which is LA. If that shit's not tied back to LA and all that, whether it's direct, and what I mean direct in other words, it's a LA based set, or it's, you know what I'm saying, you made your own, but you still need that, you know what I'm saying, that connection, all that shit. If it's not that, then something smells, buddy. Something smells rotten. I can't speak on how it goes for the Bloods, especially because they're divided by the East Coast base and the West Coast base, and I can't, you know, speak for the folks, because, you know, that's a whole different, you know. My movement, community revolution in progress, community restoration in progress, however you want to put it, you know what I'm saying, 1969 to the end of existence, blue flag, that's mine, that's who I am, that's what I am, that's what I represent, that's my movement, you know what I'm saying, that's all I know when it comes to this shit. So, but yeah, I posted those clips of Bangin' Lil Rock, that first one, because it really reminds me of how shit is out here for real, when it comes to these people out here trying to be part of our shit and all that, you know what I'm saying? And they really don't understand how serious and the depths of this shit is and all that, but that's because that's not really their thing. You know, I already explained what their thing is and all that stuff. But then you have those that want to, you know what I'm saying, be an our thing and all that, but it's not them. And the thing is, when shit hits the fan and all that, a lot of these dudes, you know, if they wasn't that already, a lot of these dudes, once they turn all that stuff and they get caught up the first time and all that, they're going to be squealing like a fucking pig. So, nah. Stick to what you know. We stick to what we know and all that, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, if you living in a small country town or a small town, all that, just mind your business and just, you know, just humble yourself first. Don't bring that big city attitude, big city ego shit around and all that shit, because that's the best way for people to go up against you already. And what I mean by that, in other words, like, say if you need help with something, whatever, they're not going to help you for shit. You know what I'm saying? You really got to chill out. You know, you got to humble yourself, or life will humble you for you. That's number one. Number two, take that time to finally understand that there's more to life than, you know, just all you know and all that, because it is more to life, you know, and you can actually breathe it in, taste it in and all that, you know, the air, the atmosphere, just the, you know, just the vibes and all that, you know, just take it all in, and I guarantee you it will change you into a better person and help you realize there's more to life. And yeah, just learn to be the best you as you can be and all that, you know, and then everything else will come to you. But always stay, you know what I'm saying, on your T's and C's, as we say it. Different sets have their ways of saying it, but basically stay on your P's and Q's in case, you know, shit is brought to you. You know, because for real, that's really the only time you should act out. Is when shit's being brought to you. Don't go around starting shit, but definitely defend yourself. But, you know, motherfuckers in the city and all this shit always have something to prove and all that. And with all this shit that's going on and all that, you know, yeah, they always got something to prove and always got something to say. Just itching just to have a reputation and all that shit, you know what I'm saying, about this, that, and third. Really, to be honest with you, it's one thing to know that you're capable of doing that shit, and the homies could vouch for that, but just to prove that you know what I'm saying, you can, just so that we get caught up and all that, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day, who's really winning. But, yeah, that's basically, what it's like living in a small town or a country small town. Oh, very different from the city, different from the suburbs. You know, it's all about what you make it. If it's not your thing and all that, then don't move to a small town. But if you want to live somewhere where it's peaceful, where it's not so much traffic, where it's not so much bullshit, where it's not so much, you know what I'm saying, this, that, and third and all that, and you want to start fresh and you want to actually build a life and eventually have good, genuine people in your life and make one with others one day, a small town will definitely do it. Because otherwise, keep living where y'all living and all that, and keep doing what y'all doing. I just know for me, city life was never for me. Suburban life, back when I was a kid, you know what I'm saying, then it was one thing, but shit changed. You know, now it's like now where I'm from and all that stuff, they basically making every single area like its own city, like big city type shit with all these high rises and, you know what I'm saying, sky, like, near skyscrapers and all that shit. Like that's not for me at all. That's not the kind of person I am. That kind of environment is not for me and shit like that. So I mean, it is what it is. But yeah.
You don't know now what set I claim. I claim 3-0. You ask what I bang? I bang 3-0 with an A in the middle. Avenues, cuz, but I ain't with the riddles. Keeps the 3100, but people not like me. I see the weird shit going on repeatedly. But I'm a go-getter, I goes and gets. Never a lazy ass nigga ambitious with my bets. Cross the line, pay the debt. Even with your life, pay the debt. Gotta pay the toll, that's how life rolls. I seen too many plays solid, but they always fold. Had a beating heart, froze that shit cold. Don't give a fuck, I'm in that fucking mode. Seen one side, but now it's the other side. One slick mouth, that life of yours, bye bye.